Second time I'm going to try to do this video. I hope it works, or I gotta go for a drive. It's an explosive video. It's a truth bomb. It's all about all the propaganda related to Paul Benardo and what Canadians are making of his move to medium security. The not translated truth of violent offender and your registry. I'm sorry, Canadians. I'm sorry. But facts of the matter remain. It was Karla Homolka who did the murders. At least her sister, it's absolutely proven. Another Jane Doe, as it's called, that was never pursued through the Paul Benardo case, clearly proves Karla Homolka kidnapped that woman, had her tied up, and waited for Paul Benardo and her sexual assault. 14 videos clearly shows her participation in all of them. It was her drugs administered, her concoctions she crafted as she worked at the veterinary place. That was Karla Homolka. Folks, Paul Benardo, no doubt about it, sadistic creep. He was a serial rapist, the Scarborough rapist. One thing in common about all his rape victims, none of them died. A Scarborough rapist, none died. Violence, yes, sexual assault is a massive, brutal crime. But folks, when it comes to serial murder, that was all Karla Homolka. Right now in the news, you got politicians from all across the aisle and all different ministries talking about the glory of the crown and how this is a terrible justice for the institutionalized Canadian people. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. But the reality of what a real, true serial killer versus a serial rapist, they are two different, completely different categories of nutty psycho. And Karla Homolka is the serial murder. Do you all not know what happened to her in our crown colonial system? And if you haven't seen the 45-minute video released by the Real Women Group over 9 months ago, you should watch it. It's all historical, into the now and everything we know, and it's been published for a very long time, but never really truly made public inside the Canadian Crown. You watch the last 23 minutes of the video. I mean, you should watch the whole thing, come up with your own view at the end, but I promise you, a 9-member jury of 10 would have convicted her as a serial murder. With all of it put together, they would have all undoubtedly, without her testimony, would have convicted him of murder and rape and his participation with Karla, but she would have been nailed as the murderer, as absolutely the serial killer. The evidence is undisputable that not only did she get the same rapist pleasure out of it, but it was her who was doing the murders. That's beyond all reasonable doubt. What did we do as Canadians? We said, one, because of the evidence that she murdered her, wipe that off the docket, right? We got this deal, her testimony against Paul Benardo. Let's just forget the fact that we know she murdered her sister. She perpetrated, she murdered it. Let's just take that off the docket, not even talk about that. We'll only talk about the other three, because clearly, no, got it, lucky. We'll see how long it lasts. But folks, clearly two of those crimes, they know without a beyond a reasonable doubt, it was her hands are the murder weapons. When they took her sister Tammy and they exhumed her, they found out after the deal was made, Karla killed her. All evidence pointed to that. All those involved say, yes, she did. Well, after the fact that they made a deal knowing not to make the deal. Watch the video. As Canadians, we said, it's okay. Let her out of jail, the dangerous offender. Let her get married. Let her travel the world. She's poor little Karla, the psychopath. And you can see it. You can see it. I'm not saying Paul Bernardo's not a psychopath. I'm not saying that he's a dangerous offender. What I'm saying is, in the scale of what is in maximum security and how dangerous you have to be as violent, where you can seriously kill somebody, it is actually Carla who fits the bill and he doesn't. As bad as that is, I'm not saying our system's right. I'm saying what it is. And what we say is normal as Canadians. We thought it was all normal that Carla got to go and live her life as a known perverter of the truth, a known serial killer. We said, go ahead. You're released. You got 1/3 of anybody else's sentence ever in the history of Canada. And then even those who were innocent later found innocent of similar crimes. You got 1/3 of even their sentence. You got to be released from prison. All Canadians, hey, it's great. They even celebrated her new marriage and her traveling all over the world and getting to have her life. I don't support any of it, folks. What I'm telling you is, in one hand, we let a known serial killer go on with their life, enjoy their life, have a new life, and we even celebrated it in the media. Whereas the other party, we throw the book at for just being moved to medium security because they actually didn't have the hands as the murder weapon. Now, Carla testified to that, but again, if you watch the video and you review the evidence, it was clearly her hand as the murder weapon and the murderer. We know that. Everything else is her testimony against Paul Benardo. But what we know of evidence is she's the snuffer. She's the murderer. And she, on video, is in all the rape scenes committing the rape too. And laughing. I don't know. Everybody watch the video yourself. It should be mainstream. I put it in the link in this title. Nobody seems to care. I think 250,000 Canadians viewed it, and it's not even all Canadians. 250,000 people viewed that in 9 months. That is called massive institutionalization. When we look in the face of a stone-cold serial killer and say, oh, they're a victim, when clearly they're a perpetrator, and we wipe out all the evidence, like that's normal. Paul Benardo, the evil sadistic, which he is, but we paint it all on him. He can't even be released from maximum security when we know his wife enjoyed every minute of it, got off nearly scot-free, reduced sentencing, got out in 2005, went on to get married, have children, and tour all over the world. And nobody says a peep about it. Very, very small minority amount, even though we know the huge corruption of the Crown. Those who follow me strongly, watch the video start to finish. Crown, 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 corruption of Crown, evil of Crown, institutionalization. Everything I talk about, primary, the Paul Benardo, Carla Homolka case, massive case. You see the corruption of the Crown, corruption of the justice system, and what we do as a society, and we embrace that and say, hey, that's normal. It's normal for a serial killer to get off literally scot-free. She was a great actor, right? Even though all the evidence, overwhelming evidence, puts her clearly as the murderer and willing participant, and in fact organized a whole pile of the rapes. Clearly she did. And you can all watch for yourself. You can review that evidence that has been out for a long time, but articulated 9 months ago in that video and put together. It's the most accurate portrait. A lot of us have heard it over the years, but to watch it and review it, you know that a jury, 9 out of 10, easily would have found them both guilty, and she would be serving a life sentence in maximum security as a known, proved serial killer. Not out gallivanting all over the world, having the greatest holidays, and having some old pervert making a family out of it. A joke of our Crown, an hypocrisy of our massive institutionalization and just how obscene politicians really are. Not a word from Pierre Poilievre, Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh about any of that. The focus clearly is on the fact that Paul Benardo's in a medium security where he's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars anyway, that he's not actually a super dangerous offender because realistically it was his wife who did all the murders. In a medium male security prison, he didn't rape men, so he's not going to continue on in medium security. Who did get to continue on, who is a serial killer known, is Karla Homolka, and she has access to children. Think about that. And she gets to go all over the world. What kind of realm of normalcy do you have somebody who knowingly killed people, got a deal to get off, and is touring the world and living the high life? Oh, I'm pregnant now. I had a family.